Okay, so the LGO constantly saying, oh yeah, in 7 days we'll give you a response. You wait a week, still no response. Where's my response? Oh, we'll be in 7 days, there's a lot of paperwork to go through. And again, you wait patiently a month, and that's been a year of that, and then 2 years prior to that of trying to actually get them to rehome me, and then a year prior to that of them, well, the council hasn't given you a final response, and then a year of arguing with the council prior to that where they'd given their final response and only offered 250 quid in compensation. And so but it's like, oh no, we need this very specific final response letter, and even then when you get, oh, it's not from the right person, and it's like, well, arguing with the council, but they're still not doing it, and then they've given their final response, but you're not accepting it's a final response, and the LGO just being shit in general, and then allowing them to get away with it, and even then, the 2 years of bullshit of the council losing housing applications, not rehoming me like they promised, and all this other shit. So yeah, general bollocks going on with that. So now, after all this stress and all the heartache and all the shit and all the damage it's caused to my life, after they illegally withheld my housing benefits for 9 months anyway, they're offering, rather than 250 quid, which they still offered for all that bullshit time, 6,300, which still doesn't make up for all the shit that they've caused me, because let's just say that the backdated benefits been stopped from when my home was repossessed in January 2012, and then someone's waiting outside the property waiting for me to come out, and so I've received this letter saying that they are now in holding of the ownership, and if I leave the property they can take it at any time. That was what the letter said. So and then someone outside your window just sat in the car outside the house all day every day. Clearly that person that's never been there before is waiting for me to leave so that they can just lock me out the house. So, that's when I became afraid to leave the house, and I couldn't even go to job seeker sessions, and that's when I really sank into the pit of depression. And also, I'd lost Steph at that point, and she was with someone else, so I just went catatonic. So yeah, not good. And so yeah, anyway, they backdated the benefits back to them, but they were still legally withholding my housing benefits. That was 6 months in, and it took another 3 months before it was at the end of February, something like that apparently, for the date. I don't know the exact date, but I never got the letter because I was my home had been repossessed according to the letter at that point, and I was fully catatonic and hopeless and had no hope for the future. And so yeah, I'm not going to dwell on those bits, but yeah. Anyway, they didn't actually apparently finish repossessing. It hadn't actually gone through the court, even though they sent letters saying that they had been handed possession. No, it took another couple of months, and apparently I had these other couple of months before it was properly repossessed. So didn't know that. And they waited until literally the day of or the day after, I can't remember which, but the dates are oddly suspicious, that after the court date, that's when they pay some of the backdated benefits they owed, but not all. So it wasn't enough to get things started and be able to stop me having my home repossessed. And so yeah, it wasn't fun. And then it's like, because I was catatonic at that point, I'd lost my home, and I thought I was losing my home, and I was expected to be kicked out to die on the streets any day. And then 3 months suicide attempts, but we're not going to go into it. And after failing at so many, and yeah, that's when I decided, well, they're not kicking me out, and this isn't working. It's like my body's too resilient. Let's try again, trying to stop this eviction happening. But then it didn't, and I got evicted, and then they're like, oh, you left of your own accord. No, I fucking didn't. I got evicted because you illegally withheld my fucking housing benefits for so fucking long. But yeah, damage to my health through suicide attempts, the loss of my home and all my possessions. Benefits alone would have, for the time between they were backdated to, and to when I got rehomed here. In total, including job seekers, rent, and the council tax, which I still have to pay, the council tax for the 6 months it took them to evict me. In fact, no, it's not only 6 months, it's the 6 months plus the 6 months prior to that, so yeah, I don't know, it's 12 to 15 months. Anyway, so yeah, I still owe that debt, and they don't reduce it, even though I was meant to be on benefits and I was on job seekers for the time, and then the 6 months that it took them to eventually kick me out, because they're, you know, did like, we'll just kick you into a catatonic depressed state, and then, you know, oh, it's your own fault for not knowing that when we said we repossessed your home, and if you leave it, it's not actually repossessed, you know, there's other legal framework that you should have known. Fuck, how the fuck are you meant to know that when you've been fighting it for 9 months and still nothing, and you're still having your benefits withheld, and you've put in fresh benefits applications, and you've visited the office so many times, and you've emailed constantly complaining for it, and you've just submitted to every stupid request, and still it's not getting paid, and then your home's repossessed, you know, and you've got no more fight left in you at that point. It's like, you should have known and you should have kept fighting. It's like, yeah, you really know human people, especially someone who suffers from depression. But yeah, £46,654.40 in benefits that I would have got. So, you know, some of that's rent, I admit, and some of that's council tax, but, you know, if they're still making me pay debts for the council tax, then I at least should be owed some of that. But in job seekers alone, bear in mind that I have had to pay rent in shitty hovels and places and things, you know, so rent should still be included. £16,374.40 in job seekers alone that I missed out through because of this shit. Then all of my possessions, all of my furniture, all my electronics, my washer dryer, which is, you know, I want that back. Pardon me. That's like nearly £500 to replace, brand new. But, you know, if they fucked me over, and I should get like for like what I've lost. And yeah, if, you know, my possessions alone, because of, you know, fridge, freezer and electronics and everything, it adds up to quite a fair bit. And then mementos and stuff that's irreplaceable, you know, and my coin collection, and, you know, there's a lot of money. It's £10,000 worth of stuff at least that is irreplaceable and lost because of that. So, you know, yeah, I got them at bargains and second hand, but still, they were my stuff, and it's no, I'm not going to accept inferior shitty crap for the hassle that I've been put through. And then no compensation for the damages to my health and well-being, and, you know, all the years haven't been kind to me. I'm looking really, really shit now, and I lost Steph, and the amount of opportunities that I've had to get back with her. Yes, I mean, clearly it's through losing her again. You know, she did care, clearly, because we were chatting great, and then clearly, you know, I'm not just a friend, because, hey, you know, being shut out and not entirely ignored, you know, she apologised for not really being available much, but, you know, I mean, it's clear why, even if she's not saying, you know, because of the new boyfriend. But hey, you know, she does still care, and, you know, maybe if I hadn't let her down all the years and missed out on all these opportunities and been so needy whilst I was going through all of this, having my benefits withheld anyway, because, you know, that's when we were dating, and so, yeah, that added to me being so insecure, and I haven't even told her that part, you know. But yeah, it's a major thing that ruins everything. So yeah, 6,300 just doesn't make up for all of this. And my health would have been better. I would not have continually tried to commit suicide, which, you know, has damaged me in ways. So, you know, it's like mostly mentally, but yeah, it's not ideal. And I can't help but think, you know, maybe, well, you know, I wouldn't have put on all this weight for sure, but my face might have not looked as shit as it does now, you know. Like, maybe it's just flabby face, maybe it's damaged from all of the sleepless nights from various situations, because, you know, it wasn't just moving in here with the neighbours upstairs, but it's been a lot of sleep deprivation for years, and that has caused major headaches, which, you know, it felt like maybe mini strokes at times, so maybe my face has sank a bit on one side, and maybe it has had problems, and then heart problems, and all these other problems, because I do get heart pains, and it's not fun. So, yeah, I'm going to have to keep fighting. I'm going to have to read through all of this, and they've given me 15 days, even though they've delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and made up ridiculously excuses for why they've delayed and avoided the issue, and it's just not right. £6,300. I'm not letting the government save a single penny for the shit they've caused me, for all the damage to my health and well-being, and all the stress and the loss of 6 years of my life, effectively. No, I cannot allow them to save a single penny in government money through hardships that they've caused me. That is not fair, that they can save a single penny when they've illegally withheld my benefits. They cannot be allowed to get away with illegally withholding my benefits like that and causing damage to my health and well-being in my life and not caring. They have not cared in the slightest, and they still caused me stress and aggravation through all these years that I've had to chase it up, just pushing just to get to this. No. But if a 25 form factor, it's 25.2, you know, that's still a lot. So, you know, maybe if the 25 form factor applies, then it's 150 odd grand, and that would just about make up for all the shit and the hardships and the bullshit, but still wouldn't make up for losing Steph. But, you know, there's hope there still, because she did care, and she does still clearly care. It's just, I have to fight harder to get her back and get back in shape and show her that we can still work together and that there's still something there. But, you know, it's harder when you're being left out, so to speak, and, you know, pushed to the side, and going from chatting constantly to, you know, the odd message every few days. Not great, but shows that, you know, when she is chatting to me, it is because she does want to get back with me, and not that I'm just some friend. So, you know, I'm not getting friend zones. Something, but it still breaks my heart. And, you know, I can understand why, with all the letdown and all the insecurities and everything. And that's just more that I blame the council, because, you know, if it hadn't been for all of this, I'd probably still be with her, and, you know, we'd probably be married by now. But hey, you know, apparently that's all my life's worth, about £1,000 a year. I don't think so. You know, that is not fair, not right, not adequate compensation, and the government cannot be allowed to get away with it. And it's not just me that they've done it to. Countrywide, they've done it to loads of people, and, you know, it's been news stories and all this, but that is not fair, and I will not stand for it, and I will keep fighting, and I will not only put this out here, I may try to get this in the media, especially with the leadership election, and, you know, I'm gonna have to play my hands, because to the Conservatives, this is a game, and it's a game that they're not going to win. You know, sure, you might win the general election, you might not, I hope not, but you will not win this. I will always keep fighting, just like I I'm not gonna give up on Steph. I'm gonna try and win her back as my monitor turns off. And so, yeah, it's all I can do. 6,300 isn't fair, and even Steph was like, if you're not happy, keep fighting. And yeah, I'm not gonna give up. So I'm gonna keep fighting, and I'm gonna get more than 6,300. Even if I have to take that 6,300 and take it to the European Court of Justice, and with all of the proofs, and especially all of the delays by the LGO in not dealing with this and not getting me rehomed, and all the failed promises, and all of the times I rapidly re-signed, even though I was still on the thing, and as a joint claim, and job seekers, and it should have been paid, and then the time I went into the office and it should have been paid, and then the applications that they've lost and it should have been paid, and then the applications that I sent and they lost, and the one that was sent on my behalf by Trinity Housing, though they didn't sign, that I got, it wasn't signed, it wasn't filled in by me. Look at the fucking handwriting, it's not my handwriting, it's Trinity Housing. It was filled in on by my behalf by Trinity Housing, so their blame, not mine. But still, the council, it was an application. They should have suspended even eviction at that point, because if all I needed was this claim to go in, then it was in, and if it wasn't signed, you suspend the eviction then. But hey, it was sent back to Trinity Housing to get re-signed, but that was then forwarded back to the council after I got that letter of eviction, which was too late. And even then, it was, they didn't send a letter to say, hey, we're not evicting you. They just said, nope, we don't care. It's like, I can't attend the job seekers because there's someone outside my property, and my home's been repossessed, and nope, do they give a shit? No. Did anything work? No. I tried everything until I lost my mind. I had no more energy left. So yeah, they drove me into a pit of despair and depression, and that was through that entire situation. And is £6,300 worth all of that damage to my health and mental well-being, and the loss of my life, and the loss of the love of my life, and the loss of jobs that I could have had? Even then, I was applying to jobs, and all the years, sorry, I'm feeling a bit sick, all the years of applying for jobs that I could have done, where I probably would have got a job through all that time, and all the job interviews that I've had now, and that it's been like, well, yeah, good experiences all these years ago, because hey, I was made homeless and I couldn't work. All I could do was festival jobs where I could camp in a tent in the middle of nowhere, and you don't need a home for that. So a few festival jobs here and there with a coat that was falling apart to shit. But hey, I struggled through with staying on people's sofas and staying at exes, and not Steph. That would have been nice, but she was also in bad situations as well. It's like, hey, that is another part of why we couldn't get together, because she had to stay on her ex's sofa when they weren't working out, and he was abusing her. And it's like, yeah, I could have been there for her, and her salvation, and given her a place to stay with me, and we could have got together and been happy. But no, I had no home at that point. I couldn't. And before that, I was offered, when she was wanting to move to London and escape everything, and then I lose my home, and it's like, yeah. So I'm sorry if I've also led to hardships for her, because I could have saved her at least a year of being on his sofa and trying to get out of that and all the shit there. So yeah, not good at all. But hey, we keep fighting, and that's all we can do. And it's not enough compensation for all the years and shit and all of that I've had to go through. No, I'm still having to struggle to find employment in an impossible jobs market and do everything whilst I have to fight this case still on top of it. And it's like, it's been a constant complaint, so they've had no years to dispose the evidence, but you know, they still thrown away the evidence because it's been over 2 years since it started. And it's like, yeah, but no, you're not meant to do it if it's still an active complaint, and it's been a fucking active complaint through the entire years as I've cased it through the complaints process. So that's more problems that they've caused that the council should be not only paying me compensation for, they should be heavily fined. I mean, how do you fine a government? I don't know. It doesn't seem right, but they can't be allowed to get away with it. You know, not only should they have to pay me compensation and anyone who they've put through all of this adequate compensation for all of the years of bullshit, but they should have some sort of damages caused to them, because, you know, the damages that they've caused to other people, just paying a fine isn't enough. You know, paying compensation isn't enough. They should have to do something to put it right on a grand scale. It's like the entire government needs sorting, and the only way to do that is to get rid of the Conservatives. And you can't have any faith in the Conservative government. No, this country cannot have faith in a Conservative government that has caused this level of hardship and destruction to the poorest of its country, who are only trying to find work on a grand scale, and the increase in poverty that they go, you know, there's any reasons to go to a food bank. And it's like, no, you are causing this poverty on a tremendous scale that has only appeared since you took the government. So, yeah, you cannot be allowed to hold power, and you cannot be allowed to get away with this. Just as £250 wasn't adequate compensation, £6,300 isn't close to being adequate compensation for the hardships and suffering you've caused me.